Let's start off with some mic prep today. Wearing black, surrounded by white horses on her 96th birthday. White horse twins, perhaps? Black horse famine? White and black, as they love the white and the black. Fascinating. 96 has always meant something, you know, to me. And so let's get on with the blue tie. So Michael, they're trolling you, right? Because you know you're fascinated always by when is he going to wear the blue tie. So they finally busted it out for you. First time since his rallies on June 2021, Trump wore a blue tie for his rally tonight. He stated during that rally that he asked his people whether he should wear a red tie or blue tie. Well, there you go. Is this saying that, you know, next week's the week or next month's the time? I'm kind of split because really to me it comes down to the new moon. It comes down to whether they want to create the event on the new moon and then it will culminate on the full moon in full explosiveness, or that it would simply go down 2 days before the total lunar eclipse, meaning he rose on the third day, he was born again, because he was born on a total lunar eclipse, and then he would be born again on the total lunar eclipse, rising on the third day. Either or. We've got enough matches, enough tells, either way, from the things Michael and I look for. We were both sort of like right there on the fence with the 29th or May 14th, April 29th or May 14th. Like you just split them right down the middle for the next event. One's a Friday, one's a Saturday, by the way. Good stuff, Michael. Thank you for that. My prep is also 2 items. 86 days from Groundhog Day is 4/29. And I had a little bit of a mathematical anomaly again. Y'all know me and these mathematical anomalies. I woke up right in my head with, because I've been going back and watching these Bond movies. And the last one I fell asleep watching, it was horrible, was Octopussy. And remember, my second wife's marriage number is 8. I'm like, Octopussy, they're not trolling me, right? They haven't been trolling me since birth or before. See, the fallen angels, I think, know the future. I think they know time. I think they know who the sheep are. I think they know stuff before it happens. That's just me. If they do, and Michael said last night, he goes, "You're the only channel out there that's telling the truth." I said, "No, we are the only channel out there that's telling the truth." And let's not forget all the things the Holy Spirit's brought to you, Michael. And the thing about Michael is very early on, when I started all this Trump Antichrist on my Telling Truth Archives channel, it was Michael and Jamie. You know, I don't hear from Jamie anymore, and I hope she's still with us, but if she's not, I completely understand. You know, everybody's got their own situation, right? Their own thought processes. And you just let God be true and every man a liar, take everything to prayer, and, you know, follow your gut. And I always say, because if you're a sheep, the Lord will speak to your gut, right to it. And if you're of your father, the devil, well, then that's of that gut. But at that point, it doesn't matter, right? So always speak to people as if they're sheep, lost or found, that they're sheep. Anybody but Donald Trump would I really look at and go, might be a lost sheep. What if Ivanka Trump gets the call and Donald watches his daughter destroyed, head lopped right off? I mean, we don't know. If anybody wants to kick back and judge who are sheep and who are not, based off how they acted today. Well, just go back and watch a film of me in the 70s, 80s, 90s. Gee, I don't know, 2011, when I was the astrologer, quite the liberal astrologer after 9/11, and I knew the war was fake. I knew what Bush had done was preposterous because I fell into the movie Fahrenheit 9/11. Get it? What was his next one? Fahrenheit 119, which is nothing more than Trump backwards. By the way, Psalm 119, longest chapter in the Bible. Psalm 117, the shortest. You know how we've been in and out of these 117s and 119s, and how Donald J. Trump, I think it is 1189 Jewish gematria. And that's apparently how many chapters there are in the entire Bible. So God is a God of math and numbers, because math cannot be twisted. You cannot make 1 + 1 anything but 2. Okay, so it's a very finite world. So let's go to, so I thought about these I woke up with this Donald Trump thing right in my head. I mean, excuse me, James Bond thing. What's the difference? Daniel Craig's been in 5 Bond movies. Every other one was highly reviewed, and the other 2 were not. They were kind of like duds, even though I really liked Spectre, and I didn't hate Quantum of Solace. I seem to have been drawn to all the Daniel Craig movies, but do agree that there are 3 that stand out. And that was Casino Royale, Skyfall, and No Time to Die. So they were every other one. So it was out of the 5 Bond movies, excuse me, out of the 5 Daniel Craig Bond movies, which really encompass all the Bond series. It kind of goes back to the story from the very beginning. They kind of redo the very beginning of Bond to the very end. So it's 1, 3, 5, and then 2 and 4, because 2 and 4 were duds. 1, 3, 5 were highly reviewed. And so I said, what does that come to exactly? Let's check it out. So I was like, I want to math it out, right? So hang on just a quick second here. Let's do this math for you. So it's when it's a 1, 3, 5 are good and the 2, 4 are bad, I like, okay, well, let's add 135 plus 24, 2, 4. 1 movies, Daniel Craig's 1, 3, and 5 were good. 2 and 4 were duds. Okay. So let's go 135 plus 24. 135 plus 24. You get 159. You divide it by 007. And you get, okay, well, we were divorced on 22 on February 2nd. We were married, Candy and I we were married on July 14th. But what you have here is a repeating of 142, 857, 142, 857, and it just goes on. Because my cell phone has it go on forever. Which one did I do first? I did the 159. Okay. So that's the 159 divided by 7. You look at this. Hang on. Yeah, this is the correct math. So it's divorce date, marriage date, and then you get this anomaly of 142,857, 142,857, and it goes on for infinity like that after that. And that's from adding 135 and 24 and then dividing back by 007. Or same thing. You won't believe it. So you can multiply 135 times the 24. It gives you 3240. 3240. Let's just start it from scratch because that's what happened on the cell phone. It got messed up. It still gave you the same anomaly with the repeating numbers, but the first 2 or 3 digits were off. Because if you can't go from addition to multiplication sometimes on certain calculators. So it's 3240. Let's reestablish it and then divide it back by 007. And you get the same exact $142,857 in repeating. On the cell phone, it was 7142857, 7142857, 142,857. So it's really like 142,857, 142,857 repeated on both of them. No matter if you add 135 plus 24 or multiply 135 times 24, if you divide it back by 007, you get the same repeating number. And it's got when she and I were married. And remember all the crazy anomalies that are associated with myself and Candy. So once again, 324, which is 135 multiplied out by 24 divided by 007, you get 7142, or excuse me, 142,857, 142,857, 142,857 repeated. Or if you add 124, excuse me, if you add 135 plus 24, then divide it back by 007, because the sum of that is 159, you again get the same mathematical anomaly, 142,857, 142,857, 142,857. And that begins with when we were divorced, Groundhog Day, which, as you can tell, or as you can see on a level, on a plane, I've been reliving that divorce, just like the movie Groundhog Day. He's reliving. He's reliving that day until he gets it right, as he's being refined in a pagan sense. I've been being refined in hope of, in the sense of being a sheep. So it's very strange because 22 when we were divorced, 714 when we were married, and then from there it carries all the way through. Again, 135 times 24, you get 3240. Divide that back by, and you get your same situation. If I were to get into what the 462 means, we'd be here a while. But all these numbers mean stuff to me. I can't give you the whole. It's just like I teach ESOL, English speakers of other languages, to adults from Haiti and Mexico. And you can't tell them the entire language in one day. So you do snippets. So this was a snippet, and it was crazy. Let me know what you think. Next up, our new contributor said, wow, nice find with the 180 Speedway logo. And I'm sure Michael says, thank you. And another one that was pretty nutty. So this is, to me, as equally as fascinating, if not even more fascinating than what I just showed you. Okay. Well, let's go to something else. As far as have you been trolled your whole life? My mom was a secretary, and we had a Mustang 289 when I was a very young child in the late 60s. I've showed y'all that a long time ago. So Ford versus Ferrari. This came back as a Facebook memory. The Ford Mustang, what do you think? It's a secretary's car. My mom was a secretary. Have you been trolled your whole life? I don't know. I don't know. But if you realize that what we do on this channel, I tell people, I'm like, I'm their version of the Antichrist because I'm their point guard. Or excuse me, I'm the point guard for the sheep while Trump's the point guard for the goats. And he and I seem to be in an upside down world. And I've shown Michael a lot of stuff that I haven't shown y'all. And he doesn't hate it. He doesn't like go, no, that's, you know, it's just out there. So he'll like this one. I haven't shown him this one. So I discovered this one too, right when I was doing the James Bond stuff. This had to do with my son and his situation, and it got me thinking. And so again, 62848 is my first wife. She's 8 times 4 times 1964. That's her number. Okay. So my wife number 2 digits out is 62. 3 digits out is 628. And I've shown y'all how how Candy and her kids came to 629, the next progression, because they were young. So you married the mom and the children. You know, it's one family. Well, she had custody, of course, so as most moms do. And I've shown y'all that many times, and how me, her, and the kids came to 518, which was my next marriage progression, because times me is 517, and me, her, and the kids came to 518. So it was truly like mathematical progressions. Like the Lord's had these mathematical anomalies in my life, my entire life. And so you look at my, you know, Adam is the number for strongest concordance, is 76, which is my birthday, 76. And you know, the first Batman was Adam West. So I don't know if I'm a figurative Adam or not. I've thrown that out there with Michael. You know, it's just, and it's based on a lot of stuff. And you can start going through the whole, it's a lot of stuff, which I'm not going to share here, which really would bring it home for you, though. For some of y'all, be like, wow, that's insane. Look at the 4 digits that sit inside the 76. So I took the 76, times it by what sat in the middle, 2869. And I got that number. Well, what's left over? The 51 at the very beginning of our combined number, or my marriage number. And I times it by 51. And Michael, I got Mayday's number. People born on May Day, as long as it's not in a leap year, it's day 121 through the portal. I mean, day 111 through the portal. That's right. It's 111 through the portal. It's day 121 with 244 left. But May Day is 111 through the portal. And on that day, there's 244 left in the year. Okay. Anyway, it all goes back to this May Day situation. And we also have 2024 sitting there. And when y'all remember when I did the street that I lived on when I was married to Candy, it ended at 2024. And as I told people in tonight's Bible study, well, there's 5 months of just the sting. So God's wrath lasts a long time. They're tormented 5 months, it says. And so God's wrath lasts. We don't know how long God's wrath truly lasts. And we think it helps carry out these sets of numbers. And so let me bring up that street and I'll show you. Well, as I've done many times, I've taken y'all to that street, Brentwood Drive. Remember OJ's Brentwood home, right? I mean, have you been trolled your whole life? I don't know. And I met Candy in 2005. So across the street, caddy corner, it zigzags. Boom, boom, boom. Like 5 to 6, 6 to 7, 7 to 8, 8 to 9. And I married Candy in the year 007 to 007, believe it or not. Yes, I know. And we lived at 2015, and the last 4 digits of the zip code are 2022, because we lived at 2015 Brentwood Drive, Auburndale, Florida 33823-2022. So it zigzags and zigzags. Whoops. And zigzags. You get rid of that. Okay. And remember, when I went there during the lockdowns and stuff, I showed y'all how it starts going downhill right here at the 2019, 2020. And that's, of course, when things started going downhill in 2020. It sat basically right in the middle of 2020, but it was still 119. And of course, that's when the illness began. And it's a small peak, but I put the cell phone down on the ground and showed you the hill and showed you that the incline began when I met Candy, that it began. I put the cell phone on the ground at 2005, 2006, and it starts to go on a very slight incline. It then starts to decline at the end of 2019 and right in the middle of 2020. Well, it ends at 2024, which is what that math just showed us. But what's weird is you got 2020, 2021, 2022. There is no 2023. And it turns into Kinsman Drive, and Jesus has been said to be our kinsman redeemer. I don't think that's biblical. Jesus Christ is our kinsman redeemer. So in Leviticus and Ruth, our nearest kin has the power to pay the price for our salvation. Okay. So it is sort of biblical on those levels. So from Brentwood to Kinsman, at 2024, everything changes. Nothing's the same anymore. And so what is 2023? Well, we think it's the abomination of desolation, and then God's wrath begins. And then after God's wrath, that potentially at 2024, maybe, perhaps, that's when God puts it in, returns, collects his bride, and so on and so forth. And when we begin the 1,000-year millennial reign. But yeah, just wanted to share all that. The Facebook thing with the secretary, of course, Christian Bale, again, Trump, and the Mustang, and a secretary's car, and my mom had the Mustang. My mom's was what you would call a dark green. That looks more like black. It was not that color, but it was close to that color, but it was not that color. Yeah. A green Mustang 289.
Check out these pictures.
And hers was not a fastback. It was about a 1967-ish car, 1966-ish. It was that color green there, more of the darker green. It was that color. And hers was a GT, and it had the stripe. That's what it was. It was that color car. So you notice the one in the movie was either black, navy blue, or super dark green. If I was to change it to 66, which it could have been, hers was a Mustang GT, so we might as well put GT. Was not a fastback. It's more along the lines of that. Looking pretty stylish today. No, my mom did not have mag wheels on the car. Loser. Because you sure would want them, would you not? Yeah, kind of sports it up, doesn't it? Probably more like those wheels. Yeah, probably came standard. So anyway, that's about it. We are looking strongly at our upcoming dates. The 24th has a few hits if he were to go down today, which we do not suspect he will. Alec Baldwin's incident, which portaled over to, what do you call it? April Fool's Day. It's on the 24th, along with May 26, 2021, total lunar eclipse hits today also. We have a few hits for the 25th on Monday, and then nothing until we get to the eve of when we suspect he could possibly go down. Things really seem to line up for it, though things also really seem to line up for the 14th, 15th, and 16th. And you're like, well, not as many. Well, so if it were a competition for that colored blue versus that colored green, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 items for that 3-day span. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 items for that 3-day span. So it really comes down to what do you like taking place on the new moon and Beltane and, you know, their upside down version of Halloween, because it's across the pond from the end of October, the end of April is. That signifies November 1st, May 1st. They're straight across from each other. You know, do you like that as that fuses with the new moon, Beltane and Halloween and all that? Or do you like it better just Israel's, you know, the day he turns 9/11? The day Israel turns 888 months old, by the way, both of them. And then him just rising on the 3rd day. So either or, what's approaching this next weekend, or what's approaching 3 weekends from now, you know, 1 weekend from now, 1 week from now, or 3 weeks from now, beginning on, of course, the Friday, culminating on the Sunday or Monday. No matter what, we're in some definite, we're into a very certain time frame that appears to be really fascinating. And then once that passes, assuming it does, yeah, we'll keep looking. There's a lot of stuff I like in July. There's a lot of stuff. I told Michael, I was like, 7's the number for cleansing, 12's the number for the church. What if it's July 12th? I mean, that's the eve of the 2nd consecutive supermoon in a row, known as the buck full moon. And we all can go back to iPad Goat and see the buck rabbit in the background, Trump exit, and the rabbit lights up. So you can't really hate anything or hate on anything. You just kind of have to go with it and see where it all takes you. All right. All right. Love y'all. Good stuff, Michael.